If you did stick around, that was a proper catastrophic crash there, which is exactly not what we wanted. So yeah, give me a moment and we'll actually get back to it. Now the actual UQ has started on Phantasy Star Online 2, and I am trying to get this stuff back up and running again. But give me a moment or two before I get it sorted. Oh no. Resizing that script. Oh, that is a bad. Could you not have actually set it as a. Okay. Sorry, I just got a little bit annoyed at an anime's issue there. Would be nice if that was actually a static size screen or a static sized output. That would that's something I would probably like in future from them. Having two of those screens up is actually a bit of a pain in the arse. But yeah, boy, let me work around here. Let's get the restream chat back up and running. So yeah, that actually hard locked my PC, and it decided that it did not want to play around anymore. It might not be animes that did it. I was playing around with some background images that were animated GIFs, and they were oversized animated GIFs that could have been causing an issue. Right, so let's get this another try. Let's jump back into animes and get our octopus girl back. Boom, there's Lily. And we'll get her back up and running again on screen here in just a moment. Hopefully that'll actually look good. Hey, there's Lily. Back. Yay! That actually worked out too badly. So yeah, I think it was actually a technical glitch that went wrong there. So we're just going to actually speed across into the actual full screen for the game. There we go. So this is actually what it would look like in mainstream play whenever I'm actually playing the game again. Hopefully the audio levels are okay. I might need to bring down the gameplay audio a slight bit, just so we can make sure that my voice is over the top of it. I tend to boom, and whenever I boom, don't touch the mic. Don't touch the mic. Yeah, let's rock and roll and do a UQ. I wish it was anything but defensive rig, but this will do for now. So, yeah. Oh, well, at least that was a quick start. I mean, essentially I'm sitting here now. Might as well talk about PSO2. The recent announcement for Retem, the new region. The chapter essentially being called Sandstorm Requiem. We saw an update for it not very long ago. I just need to turn that down a tiny bit more just for myself, because you know, like that thing whenever you can hear something in the background and it's like mind jams you from actually being able to say words. All the content is going to be dropping with Red Tem Region in December 15th. I am looking forward to. Basically, I will be streaming day of release. Probably if the game actually has technical issues on day of release, I'll be playing something else. Maybe just playing Halo with friends or something like that. But the actual, like, whenever the content gets dropped and the servers are up and running, I'm looking forward to actually getting well into it. I think we've all been tired. Just seeing somebody already complaining in the Mind Defense rig that there is people with level 15s in here. And, yeah. I mean, at this point now, there is a warning before it happens. If somebody comes in here on a 15, they're coming in intentionally. But you know, the main thing that's going to happen is somebody's going to actually moan about it. It's not going to solve the problem. Just fight around it. The worst thing that can happen is that they pull some form of aggro or hold an enemy in place for like a short period of time. Let them do it. At least then it actually stops enemies from attacking. Oh, actual mine base. I'm at the point now where I'm really so uncommittal about playing these UQs that I am, if I get anything other than a C, I am delighted because I didn't want to do them anymore. I didn't like Buster quests all that much, and I didn't like defense quests in base. And it feels almost like, why didn't they think to do a... Well, I suppose because it makes sense, because they actually are like, you're going to be the first people to arrive to the Retem region. But generally there's actually like walkways to a bridge, and you could have actually literally led a caravan to the bridge through the open world areas. Like they could have just pathed out an area specifically, like turned the open world into a laneway kind of thing that you had actually like stop off at multiple points and defended a mobile base or a supply drop or whatever to another region. It's like, this is the base laziest thing they could have done, was set 3 objects in and then run wave after wave after wave after us. And then whenever we were complaining about content, they added 2 more levels to this, like 2 more waves to it, and you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Took the thing that I hate the most and actually just added more to it. I'm like, right, I'm sure there's people who love this kind of content, so fair play to them if they want to burn through it. I personally just couldn't do it anymore. I'm just going to go get the tower because nobody's caring about any of the actual towers there. This would actually, if I just left this alone, this would actually end my suffering a little bit faster, but I don't throw a match. I just play it badly. If you're wondering why I'm actually playing the way I am, because I do main bouncer, is I'm still leveling up different classes. This is currently fighter and, yeah, so fighter gunner. Faigu. Who plays Faigu? Who's in for that Faigu meta while you're playing with PMGs? I'm just finishing off like the excess. I'm just trying to get everything to 20 before the new region comes out. I'm not hard playing it. I'm just picking up a little bit in pieces as I go along. Oh, good grief! Like EV actually turned itself off a big way through that. Just checking out. Is there anybody in the chat? Nah. I figured that would happen whenever my thing crashed. That there would be nobody in the chat afterwards. Let's see if there's any recovery. Well, that's wave 2 cleared. Well, we're already down to A. Oh! It's just me and one other person still here? It's only 2 people? That's brilliant. Oh, who cares? I'm gonna have to message this guy here. Oh, come on, keyboard and mouse, don't be an ass for me today. This is ridiculous. I'm curious how I've never actually played this whenever there's nobody else here. Does it actually scale to the amount of people that are actually here? Because I'm just noticing that the wall seems to actually have only appeared in one location. Did it actually just go like pull up, just give you a little bit of pity on you? Oh, are you fucking? Oh, are you kidding me? I'm curious. It's the person who is here, the level 15, no, 18 and 12. Alright, so they may not have played these too many times and then haven't got the whole thing down yet. That's just fine. It's fine. I'm really looking forward to other YouTube content in PSO2 and GS. The Balrodos looking big monster that's actually part of the story is actually super interesting to me. Just I've always liked Balrodos kind of fights or Deroli fights from PSU and all the rest. It's just there goes one of the towers. It's just actually always an interesting fight. Whenever you actually got those like timed attacks, whenever you're actually waiting for him to kind of do his laps or do his rotations, and basically taking like the sandwormy fight from Mass Effect and then throwing that into what would be like standard fun fight in PSU as well, like our weekly boss it always was for PSO2 base, whenever you were farming for your money. It's day roll day. Oh god, that doesn't help that I'm actually running into here finally. Yeah, this is all. I'll talk properly once this is over. I apologize, it's like I'm doing too many things at once and I've literally just had my screen crash on me in the middle of it. And I am no professional by any stretch of the means. It's been a while since I have actually streamed and talked at the same time as playing anything. Generally just... I welcome anybody back who would have actually been back here back in the day whenever I actually do this on a daily basis. But I hope to actually get back to doing it again. It's like I kind of make this commitment to myself every time it gets to this time of year. Because it's kind of getting up to that point for the Starlight Celebration again as well. You know, the Final Fantasy 14 holiday stuff. And that was a thing for years. And it would be really nice to actually kind of catch up with Solar Valkyrie, see what they've been doing since. And maybe jump into a little bit of play. I did go back to Final Fantasy 14 again there shortly after the Endwalker the expansion announcement. And started playing through and finished off Heavensward. So I finally finished Heavensward. I'd bought Stormblood. Is Stormblood the next one? I can't remember. But I finally finished Heavensward long after Heavensward became part of the free trial of the game. But what can you do? Like just the MMOs, man. Just in general, if you're not staying on top of the content, you fall behind. And I felt that felt like I was getting very grindy whenever I was playing the tail end of Heavensward. Whenever I came back to it, I had no idea where I was. I literally had to get somebody to kind of come pick me up and drop me off where I next needed to be, because I didn't understand how you teleported across the area. And I have not unlocked zero flight for any of the fucking areas in Final Fantasy 14. I think it was actually literally unlocked a flight for one of the areas. Oh, there we go. That is so destroyed. I think that thing is going to go down. I had basically done none of the actual prerequisites for actually unlocking flight in an area, so I literally had to just fucking run for teleporters to jump from island to island, and then I got stuck, not knowing where I needed to load in a place. So I basically just kind of begged for help from one of the better players that were around me, and they didn't take me under the wing. They led me to where I needed to be, and were joyful that I got to sit and watch the Night of the Round fight. And I was like, oh, I got to watch this. I have zero input in this combat. I think it's actually the same feeling I have for any of the content in Final Fantasy 14. It's like I enjoy the Starlight Celebration stuff because it's very social based, super simple, and it's like doesn't take too long to run through. And it's always been like a fun yearly thing to do. Right. Now that I'm no longer playing a mining rig, I can... Yay, look at that rank C. Deliciously done. Still get 32k XP and 2000 Meseta. Oh, God. Alright, let's see what... Alright, well, first stars, just move those into... Oh, God, I didn't mean to do that. It's classy 2-star items. Let's return back to where we were and have a proper conversation. I was so preoccupied with talking about animes in the last video clip. I'm sure that'll not count as a particularly good coverage video whenever I'm just showing off stuff and then it crashes. All apologies, I'm pretty sure, to anybody from animes that actually saw me do that. It was most likely the background behind my character that was causing the laggy issues. Oh, that's the wrong chair. This is the right chair. So, there we go. This is my comfortable spot in the cafe. Because actually I can sit at a comfortable angle and just relax with a couple people around the table. I actually went and we did have a conversation, me, Shad, and Flyer, about doing another headline video. But it's kind of like gone by the wayside now. I would hope to actually kind of, if I can catch them, it's just like all of our schedules are a little bit off because me and Fly being in Europe and Shad being in the States. Wow, okay, my eye was going crazy there. Me and Fly in Europe and Shad being in the States just means that we have to kind of like balance out when we can have a conversation that doesn't mean that other people are getting up at stupid hours or having to actually like rush off to work or rush back from work to be able to meet each other. So I would actually like to kind of like not talk too deeply about the things I was thinking about in Retem, except if we get to do that, but passing through all the content. Just being able to see a new area, seeing new stories, seeing new characters. It's good that we're actually expanding the world, but I still get a wild feeling that PSO2 NGS is getting wider and not gaining any depth along the way. I've joked about it during the last headline and talking about the Red and Desert stuff, that things I would love to see would be more interaction with the people of Central City and the characters that are already there. Because it feels like they already kind of like attempt to flesh them out by having them appear with us in the main combat areas, like during trials where they have like 1 or 2 lines of dialogue, and that's making progress, but it's not exactly a solution to the problem. It's not really giving us more about Central City or giving us more about the world of Halpha. It's just kind of like giving us 2 extra NPCs that join the fight whenever we're already a group of 8 in a full area. I'm like, mildly unnecessary. And the spaces itself in Halpha don't seem to be like developing up. They're just kind of like they are static, and like that's if they're going for the whole open world thing, maybe having small changes happen other than where the cats are sleeping that particular day would be a nice touch. You know, like the little campsites where they're actually either build up or there is somebody sitting at the campsite. Even if you can't interact with them, you just have bodies there. And that way, whenever those people are there, there's actually less spawns there. And then that way you would know that you don't hunt in those areas. The more recommended areas are somewhere else, because if there's somebody there, they're going to obviously attack. You know, like, have little things that actually just kind of inform the world like that. And then the other side of it was being in the city of Central itself. Having just fetch quests for our operator girls, the girls of the PSO2 NGS comic, who like I haven't read any of them since like the first couple, but I keep seeing them pop up in my feeds and stuff with the Japanese text on them. I'm like, all right, I'll sit down and read those sometime in English if I see them pop up commonly. But that's the fact that they have their own little adventures and little things going on. Like, why wouldn't it be a thing? Just say like, right, we release a comic this week, and the girls are talking about doing this event, and during this event, they need more autumn sprouts. They're actually like trying to put together a ghillie suit for one of the girls or for somebody for a secret mission. And it's going to be made out of all those accessories that we have, and then just have us be able to buy an extra one of those accessories from Gia and return it and give it in. We can either bind it to ourselves for the second one we buy, or we can give it to one of the operator girls for a EXP boost or a seasonal points boost or something like that. I mean, it's all there. It's just finding an excuse to interact these things and have side things to do. Where the worst case scenario is that you're giving text dialogue with no voiceovers and just having an intermittent cutscene like we might have had back in the day for those like submissions and side missions that popped up in base, where it's like it's almost out of context. All you see them is like them against a backdrop inside the command center because the girls don't leave there at any point. Or have them literally be on the street and just have them for that event, or not at that event, or that mission, and then they return back to their place. Because I'm assuming there's like flags you can trigger for on or off for it, and so many people could actually do it at a time. It's like, there seems to be a lot of fundamental things that are actually all here in a structure. It's like building a platform, but not building anything on the platform. And I hope, like we already know that they're making plans to change this coming in the new year, so hope is not gone. But the stuff they're bringing out in December are going to be obviously a whole new section of content for Alpha, where we're going to be going into the Retum Desert. I think I was watching Gemma Tater's video earlier on, where it's like a prediction of 4 exploration areas and 3 battle areas, 3 more region mags, region-specific gigantics, 2 or 3 UQs, and I'm like, that's as much as we had in Alio. But as much as we had in Alio, that was maybe 5 to 6 hours content with nothing added afterwards. And I'm like, wow, I know our content's meant to be repeated for drop rates, but fuck. We were spoiled. We were completely spoiled in the North American server with the last year and a half. We know this completely, but it's like, wow. It would probably feel less thingy if there was just that intermittent, repeatable material. I mean, someone to farm. That's kind of like the thing that I think everybody's kind of missing. Because even on the actual slowest part of PSO2 base, advanced quests were farmable. They were good fun to farm, and there's nothing really quite as comparable as that. So then it's like escalating difficulty for the amount of items you grab. And the yellow and purple triggers are not doing it. They're just not doing it. They're not dropping often enough, and they're not run often enough to make them worthwhile. I have yet to run a purple trigger. I've ran a whole bunch of yellows because I picked up extra ones, but I have yet to run a purple trigger. Somebody asked earlier on in the public chat, like, does anybody be up for doing purples? And I was like, yeah, I'm up for it. Oh, have you got any keys? I'm like, yeah, I've got enough keys for one. Right, we'll spend yours. I'm like, motherfucker, we ain't spending mines unless you have ones to buy another one back. I'm like, oh, I'm broke. I'm like, well, what were you broke on? Buying Giant armor with Fix of 4 on it. And I'm like, why? Why are you buying Fix of 4 Giant armor like literally less than a month away from the release date for the level 5 content, or like all the 5-star content? And it's a weird kind of like thirst gap that people are actually in now, where they're just trying to actually cover the everything that they can possibly do in the game. And I was like, oh, you should not be in this much of a rush. Watching people like talk about BP, going like, I wonder what it's going to be whenever we actually start Redem. I better get this maxed out. I was like, man, BP maxed out in this area at like 1246, so like 1300 will be doing you just fine. You do not need to be hitting 1500 BP before we get into Redem. You'll just be burning through the content as it is, and believe me, like with the star grade upgrades of weapons, level grinding up to 35, we are going to have plenty of BP to kind of like cover the difference. What else in the PSO2 Redem? I do love the designs of the new characters in the area. It's just so much more vivid and colorful. Central City just looks very white and clean. I'm like, not too, like, it's like, oh wow, it looks like a Star Ocean base. That's great. Looks like the Star Ocean kind of like forward base. But why is it here? Why is Central City smack dab in the center but has no context for the rest of the island? Or contact with the rest of the island? When Alio Town was actually so much more interesting, and they blew it off the face of the earth. So it was like, alright, Central City's obviously defended, and that's why this doesn't fucking go away. It's shielded, essentially. And the areas outside that are always in danger. So that's why we're going to Redem. It's why that thing's attacking. And why we're actually going out to fight it. It's basically because anything outside of Central is in danger. Because I mean, like, the only scene they've shown us with the story where we actually do meet the head of Redem and her entourage of boy bot toys. The Robo Boys. Does anybody else remember Botmaster, the TV show? When it's 3D time, or sorry, whenever it's laser time, you put on your 3D shades. But I'm ninjas that I hinges. The way I use them always changes. I'm Zib Zoolander, ZZ for short. I fight the corp. I'm the bots master. Listen up, all the boys brigade. Whenever it's laser time, it's time to put on your 3D shades. I'm trying to remember the rest of the lyrics. Oh man, 1990s cartoons just flooding into my brain. What is it? I'm the doc. Let me swivel and say I'm rocking the doc and I save the day. I just remember like taglines from the actual theme tune because like literally goes through the entire cast. Name is Genesix. Any problem I can fix. Genesix? Genefix? Trying to remember all the ones. We're the sports boys and we like making noise. Oh man, if somebody can link me to that original goddamn theme tune, that'd be fantastic. I'd actually need to sit down and listen to it again to actually remember the lyrics to it. But yes, anyway, the bot boys and their female leader, their designs look amazing. I love the patterning on the costumes. People who want cast parts are going to be delighted. It's a little bit of patterning that actually gives a little bit more color and contrast and texture to the bots, and they look pretty badass. Like, they've got cool heads, they've got cool torsos, they've got cool legs, and the mix and match between the three of them looks like they were designed for that express purpose. And hopefully that's not the last that we're going to see of them, especially considering there's like 3 lead cast members in the Redem area. And the main girl, she looks like her and Crawford as leaders of the city makes me believe there are no adults left on this planet, or everybody ages very, very slowly. which hopefully will be explained in the plot. But I mean, we've already got cat girls, demons, Hatsune Miku's for as far as I can see, and now a whole bunch of Attack on Titan monster hunters, which to be honest, in NGS makes more sense than it did in the original game, because we really are in the city fighting out from the walls. So like a Titan attack would have made more sense for this one. Speaking of which, the AC scratch, it's not that it's predatory. Like if you want cosmetics, you want cosmetics, but the marketplace is absolutely fucked. The entire idea of setting certain items at a 500 Meseta minimum probably was done to avoid bots farming out the money and buying all the cheap stuff on the marketplace to just resell further down the line. But it also meant that a lot of us as players couldn't buy stuff. Or if we wanted to buy stuff, we're making a decision between, at the very beginning of early game, between making a multi-weapon, upping potentials, and unlocking stuff on our weapons, or buying a piece of costume once a week. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like that, if you wanted to work your way through all of the accessories and cosmetics from the lowest price up, you'd be spending... I think I worked this out, because if you're spending on the minimum 500,000, you'd be spending, what was it, 22 items, or like reasonably common, and usually go for the lowest price humanly possible. Maybe 8 of those, 9 of those are featured, and of those featured, 3 of them might actually be, so you're spending 1.5 million every week just on the lowest and most common featured items. And then everything else is like minimum 2 million up to whatever else it is. And this is on ship 1. I can't even imagine what it's like on other ships. And because I can't imagine, and the reason why I can't imagine it on any other ships is because there is, well, no reason to actually go to other ships and level up at an alt, which is probably not beneficial to their business model, because the only reason why I bought alts in base was because they were farming tools, and it was actually the cheapest farming tool you could get, so bam, I put the time in and I put it in the characters, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I burned out on farming, but I had a lot of fun doing it back whenever it was a thing. I mean, I haven't touched base now, except to go in and put stuff on the marketplace, and I am hoarding that Meseta like a dragon's trove now at this point, and like I'm doing it mostly just to clear out my storage, so I'm putting stuff up all the time at the lowest market value. Well, like if anybody wants any of these, this is the cheapest one on the market, buy it. And I'm sure I'm getting raked over the coals on profits of somebody buying it and then reselling it on for a profit. But I don't mind. Like there's no reason for me to go back to that content anymore, and the money just gets burned into what dances that I might not already have, which are getting more and more and more and more expensive as time goes by. So it's all a losing game. But I'm having fun. That's the important thing. I've been sitting there stroking my face the entire time. I'm pretty sure this model has been going batshit crazy. Yeah. So I've been chatting for 28 minutes. It's like, what time? Yeah, it's literally 1 minute before the actual event ends. So yeah, this was a test stream. If you see the first half of it, that was me talking about animes and how it works and testing it out with a couple of different faces. And you can get to see how it works for me. And I've had a good time playing with it, and I want to try and import a custom model to it. So as I use it over the next month with the Pro tools, being able to do this without a watermark. That's the one thing that I have about these pieces of software, is that they make you can get it for free. You can go and try it out yourself on the Steam store, or I kind of wish it wasn't in the Steam store, because I have to boot Steam to be able to. I have to boot Steam on a separate PC to be able to run animes. And if you might notice down in the corner of the screen in the bottom right, it actually like brings up an error saying that I'm signed out of my Steam account on the PC I'm actually playing PSO2 on. So it's a bit of an awkwardness. I would like it as a standalone piece of software rather than actually running it through Steam. So that's my recommendation to animes. And I'm looking forward to playing around with it a little bit more over the next wee while. Some of the Pro tools, I don't even know exactly what that will do, other than having me this capture window that has just the avatar that I'm using on it, and not having to crop it or whatever else. It gives you the cleanest, biggest view you possibly can. It also has the ability to hook up an iPhone to it, so you can actually get like proper, real, high-end face tracking. Which I might just go and buy. I might just even bite the bullet and buy. I think it's like the iPhone 7 and above you can use that with. for like good face tracking and camera tracking. I think that was actually what people were using in like their visors and headsets they were doing for facial tracking. I'll not spend money. I'll just try out the cool stuff and see what I can do with it. But you might see me popping in with a little bit more of a personalized look, a more current visage. I'm sorely tempted to try and get Ocha here on screen. If there was anybody out there who wants to give that little challenge a try, I'll try and make it worth your while. But yeah, I'd love to actually recreate my character so that she could live out here in the virtual space, you know, like outside of PSO2. Because one of the things I've actually always liked about the character creation in PSO2 is that you really do get to live your character, your person, and live vicariously through them. So yeah, thank you very much for actually watching, folks. Anybody who actually did stop by during the first stream before everything went to kaput, thank you for stopping by. I didn't see any of the names, pretty much because the chat, everything, the whole computer crashed down. And then I went and did a horrible run of Mining Defense Base because I hate it. Wow, I say so many negative things about a game I really enjoyed playing. Right, thank you very much for watching. I will see all you folks in the next live stream. Bye.